You're listening to Engineuity, the podcast that dives into the wonderful world of everything industrial. From the birth of the first combustion engine to breakthrough hybrid power technologies, Engineuity examines just about everything the industry has to offer. The podcast provides a platform for industry leaders, engineers, scientists, and small business owners to educate listeners about past, present, and future industries across the planet.
Well, welcome to Engineuity Episode 3. I have Anwar Rida and Diane Temme from TMCO with me today. I'll give you guys a chance to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your role in the company, your background, and just give us an introduction.
Sure. So I'm Diane Temme Stinton. I'm the CEO of TMCO. I took it over from my dad, who founded the company in 1974.
My name is Anwar Rida. I'm the president for the company, and I've been working here since 2000, watching daily operation here at TMCO.
Cool. Can you guys give us a little background in terms of what TMCO does? What's kind of the core business and who your main, clientele is?
Sure, absolutely. So we're a contract metal manufacturer. We're a job shop. So we serve over 500 different customers in various industries. We're heavily involved with agriculture and energy sectors, as well as a number of other different sectors as well. And so the diversity of manufacturing is something that's really exciting at TMCO. We pride ourselves in being able to do all sorts of processes under one roof. So we do metal fabrication and machining to fabrication, assembly, powder coating, welding. We do the whole lot.
Yeah, the T in TMCO is total, right?
It's total.
Yep. And anything to add there?
Yeah, so I will add what Diane's saying. We're one-stop shop here, so our customer, when provide us with the print or anything, we will take care of it from engineering to finished product. They don't have to go somewhere else to get machining or finishing and everything. They can see the process started from A to Z here at TMCO, and we can serve them, like I said, from engineering to the finished part.
Yeah, I think the only thing we've found that you guys don't do is just plating. I think that's the only thing that we've ever had to ask for that is not done in-house, right?
Yes, the plating is a difficult process, require a lot requirement, space and chemical stuff. We are not ready for that, but we do really good on the powder coating. And so we supply our customer the best quality of the finishing. We have the best equipment to add the powder coating to the product and give them a quality part.
Cool.
Yeah, on top of that, I think, we do high volume production as well as one-off kind of custom stuff too. And so a lot of times we have people coming in the door saying, well, we can't find anybody who's able to do this, so we were referred to you. And so when people have problems in manufacturing that they don't know how to fix, they come see us.
Yep. Very good. I've got 2 or 3 topics that I wanted to just get into today. We normally focus on the off-highway, equipment industry, but almost all of our customers and everyone in our industry deals with fabrications, and primarily steel fabrications, but fabrications of all sorts. And that's some people do it in-house, some people outsource it, combination of both. And so it's really a big piece of the industry in terms of what we do on the equipment and engine side. The first thing I want to ask about was just some of the labor and kind of what the view towards the trend toward automation is. I mean, coming through here, we actually saw some of the new automation in effect with the lasers and a lot of the really cool automation going on. But how has the labor market influenced that trend toward automation, and how far do you see that trend going?
This is very truth. Our automation, it's a very important for, especially on that productivity. I always, people ask me, what's the advantage of the automation? I always tell them I never have a phone call from automation told me I'm sick today. So it's always working. It's always keep your products in the line. Productivity is strong. Give us a strong position in the productivity. And the unemployment, especially here in Nebraska, it's a very low. And
yeah, I
it's
think
hard.
we're around 2% or something. It's one of the lowest
Exactly.
in the country right now.
Yeah, sometimes they put that in the piece of paper, 2%. It could be less than that.
Uh-huh.
But it's a big challenging for us. How are we going to find skilled people and to keep them, to train them, and do all those things? And that's a big challenging for us. So the only way we can do it, we have to focus on the automation. Because when you do automation, that will take off all that the skill. We continue looking for skilled people. I'm not going to say we're not going to looking for them, but definitely automation help us to become a better company, a more organized company, help us on the inventory, help us on scheduling with our customer. You're going to have consistently good scheduling when you know exactly when your part will be done, all these things. And that gives huge peaceful thinking for our customer. Yep, we know we're going to order the part from TMCO. We know they're going to get it done on time.
Yep.
We cannot do that with just a labor thing because, with the labor issue we have right now, it just put us in a difficult position, especially on the COVID, for example. It was a difficult situation because people cannot come to work and all these things. So what are you going to do? Are you going to shut down the factory? And with the customer, how are we going to answer the customer? So absolutely. This is the way what TMCO is going for the automation, and we're going to continue investing on the automation to make sure our customer getting the part on time and quality.
So I think that trend's pretty evident. But it seems that, from my perspective, so tell me if I'm wrong, but that automating lets you do more, right, with the same amount of physical footprint and other things. But has your headcount gone down as you've automated more, or are you needing to just fill more advanced positions in terms of going to programming and controllers management and all that stuff? Is it just shifting the labor pool towards those more advanced requirements?
That's not truth. But what happened? People thinking you bring a lot of automation, you're going to get rid of all the laborers,
right?
And that's not right. Especially if you're going to grow up as a company, if you want to do more business, if you want to increase your sales, you want to purchase the more equipment, and those equipment also need skilled people.
Yep.
And those skilled people need to learn, need to get training and all these things. But definitely, as an automation, as a business, it will give you a peaceful thinking about how direction you're going to take your business, how your customer is going to think about you. Are you going to just continue independent on a manual machine, a manual labor, and the customers come to us and say, okay, what's the guarantee? What's the next of that? So automation and invest in the automation, it will give good feeling to our customers. And also we will add more skilled people. Actually, I see it a different way. The more automation we added, the more we can need more skilled people to learn how they run the automation.
Mm-hmm.
You want to add something there?
Yeah, let me also give an example maybe. When we're looking at our processes too, and we're really thinking about trying to make things more efficient and consistent. So for example, we were looking at a project where it was a welding process, and then the welders were spending a lot of time grinding as well. And grinding is very labor intensive. And it's also using our skilled labor to do a very menial labor task. And there were a lot of hours going towards that process. And so, that's where, you can start thinking about the applications of automation. If we could automate this task, then we could use our skilled labor better. And so, you're thinking about automation also in, how that's going to allow you to maximize your labor resources so that you can really use your labor where that's going to be, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck as an employer.
Yeah. So Diane, do you guys have a roadmap, or like what do you think the company looks like in 10 years from an automation perspective versus kind of where you're at today? I mean, have you guys thought about, I know it's an ongoing project, right? But
it's
what's
top
the
secret? Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll let you take over, Anwar. But I think part of it is so automation But really, the key is the integration too, so that the automation is integrated into systems that we currently have, so that we're building out our automation and that everything is integrated and works together with our ERP systems. And so that really, I mean, when you talk about like Industry 4.0 or Smart Factory or something like that, I think that that's really the direction that we're headed, so that processes, whereas we're automating single processes, we're going to be automating more complex processes, and then eventually that'll have lights out capability as well. Anwar, do you have more to add?
Yeah, that's correct. And one of those things you asked me, what TMCO you think can be in the 10 years? What we're looking for, I think you guys walk in the shop and you saw some of those equipment we have over there. We're thinking in 10, 15 years, TMCO will be completely full automation on the fabricator side. What that mean? That starting from offline programming. So the customer replacing the POs go to the ERP get the order into the system and go to right away to the nesting and get that part nested to the sheet without even that, and go that directly to the computer without even that. The only thing is going to be the operator loading the material from truck to the system. And that will take that completely. It will help you to do the inventory, that's a huge part of the automation. It just keep your inventory always consistent and right. And two, a lot of those products, it will go through the system without even anybody touch them, except going from the nesting laser, cutting the part, going back to the storage system. Then the storage system will take it to the presser brake, bending the part, and after that, putting the part and ready to ship to the different. So the way we're looking for as a TMCO in 10 or 15 years will be a full automation fabricated facility to do from nesting to the finished product.
That's a really cool vision. Just walking through the shop, it's not like every piece of equipment is from the same vendor. You're not in the kind of like a closed ecosystem here. You guys are using machines and from a variety of different vendors, or at least probably 2 or 3 major ones, and then a bunch of smaller ones. So is that up to you guys to integrate all that together, or this is my ignorance of the industry, are there some platforms that help integrate that stuff, or are you guys doing it from scratch?
So majority of our fabricated equipment, they are from Trump, which is a German company. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are having 25, 30 years relationship with this company. So we started that relationship with them, and they continue working with us every year with the new technologies and all these things. So it did not come one day or 2 days. This has come from 25 or 30 years and where we are right now. So majority of the fabricated equipment is a German Trump equipment, and we speak the same language. They know exactly what we need and what we're looking for, and they know what TMCO needed. So that relationship helped us to get those together and purchase those equipment. And our people, same thing. When you have people running the same equipment for 15, 20 years, and they give you more knowledge of okay, what can be in 2 years? What do you think your dream? I always ask the operator, what's your dream in 5 years to be there? Oh, you know what? I would like to have the laser to separate the part and put it there. And guess what? We have that machine. Yeah. So we always keep update the companies purchasing them. We purchase the machine for them. Always, okay, what TMCOs need? What we can do to TMCO become a better company. So we always challenge them and of what they need, and they're working with us directly, try to get us the best equipment.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about really high dollar capital expenditures and total automation solutions, you really need that partnership. You need somebody who you really trust to work with. And so Trump has been a really great partner. And in turn, they have other trusted partners. So for example, the Stopa automation system is hooked up to all of our Trump equipment, at least the lasers. And so, those partners work really, really well together. And so, and they're connected to other partners that work well together. And so, but if you don't have the trust in your supplier, especially when you're talking about this type of technology, then it's a problem. So, we've had a great working relationship with Trump. We've been very fortunate.
Good.
Zach, one of those things, I believe it, the golden rule, it's loyalty. And this is how we working here in TMCO. Like, we're loyal to you guys as a customer. Same thing, we're loyal to our vendor. And that building the strong relationship, that's what makes us a better company.
Yeah, I think that's that's part of our vision statement too, is that those long-term relationships are critical. There's the short-term stuff is fine. People can be opportunistic, but if you don't have those long-term relationships built, you're not successful in that long term. So
Correct.
Point taken. Looking at the labor pipeline, I know one thing I hear from a lot of people in our industry is just that that it feels like we're maybe in the middle of a transition from, listen, everyone went to college and got a 4-year degree in something, right? And as a result, the trades suffered, I think, for a period of time, and it feels like the pendulum's starting to swing the other way. But do you guys feel like, are you involved in labor development at that community college level, high school level, in terms of like trying to feed labor?
Absolutely. So last summer we started a high school internship program because we feel the need to catch kids earlier. I think once they go to community college, in some ways it's a little bit late, and also the community college, like when you're talking about skilled trades, I feel like the recruiting tools are to talk to kids about machining opportunities and welding opportunities in the railroad or the oil pipelines,
yeah.
And so the promised jobs paying upwards of $35 an hour right out of school, and that's just not what we offer, and so I don't feel like we're really attractive, and so the issue is visibility to some extent. As manufacturers of products, we're just not visible, and people don't see us as being viable careers. There's a stigma around manufacturing, and so we're doing a lot of initiatives to try to bring more visibility and positive experiences to younger kids. I think the other problem is that we're slow. I think manufacturing is slow to change. I think we're a traditional industry. I think that it's hard to change.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the change between so say like take a car mechanic. They don't even call them car mechanics anymore. They call them car technicians because you hook the car up to the computer. So they don't even have a car mechanic anymore. And, so I think that even if we talk about skilled trades, like, well, what are we really talking about? What are we selling kids? And, in terms of technologies too, when we look at our equipment, our capabilities, and our technology, going forward into the future, we need kids that are really tech savvy and that, have, just a mind for problem solving. I'm not necessarily sure that, a lot of the requirements that we, have for, like skilled trades are really essential, in how we recruit kids today. So I think maybe we need to change the conversation a little bit. And I think we need to really think forward, but we need to start all of that now. And I know there's a lot of initiatives kind of heading in that direction, but we just can't be doing it the way that we have been in the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I agree with Diane 100%. One of those things I see it, a lot of those families, they spend a lot of this money to the kids to go 4 years or 5 years and 6 years. And, those kids, when they graduate from high school, sometimes I feel they have no direction of somebody can tell them, sometimes you wasted your 4 years or 5 years, and then later you have to look for the job and you can't find the job. If we can give them that direction while they are in the high school, and like Diane's saying, give them a tour, show them what manufacturer can do that, and they can go to those trade school like a welding or machine. They can even get the job before even graduate from that school, and they can pay very well. So they don't have to go around it and look at working in some of those area, which is you're going to spend like $1,000 to work in a McDonald's or somewhere else. You have you spend all this money to work in the good company. So I think you pay off for what you did for your family, pay for it, and all these things. So Diane, I agree with you 100%. We have to change the language right now. We have to let the what do you call the education system change a little bit to let those kids go around. Let them go see the factories. Maybe they will help themselves and help their family. So I agree with that.
One of the things that really annoys me too, like when we talk about high school programs, for example, I think traditionally people think like, oh, we need another focus program. We have a career academy, which is, great for a certain student, but, they want to go into a machining focus or an engineering focus. Like, at 16. At
Mm-hmm.
16, you know, like, I mean, what kid really knows or should be siloed, you know? And so I think just to be, to get more broad exposure to just the industry at first, just to even see that if you're, you know, because if you can't see the opportunities, then, you know, you're not going to apply, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, so I think that we recently in Lincoln got approved for ARPA dollars for Lincoln Manufacturing Council, and part of that is going to go towards trying to increase the visibility of opportunities.
At the high school level?
At the high school, and
all the way
also, all the way up, and because of ARPA for people who have been displaced, for unemployed and underemployed individuals, just to get them into better career opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter's getting ready to start high school in the fall. I know. And so, and we went to the school, you know, curriculum, that whole thing. And I was blown away. They have a full machine shop. They've got, you know, laser cutting, lathes, just, you know, a literally full blown machine shop, a 3D printing lab, and a really amazing, you know, like manufacturing technology wing of the high school. It might have been there when I was there 20 years ago. I don't remember it, but it was really amazing. And they're doing some really cool stuff. And I know there's more outreach going on. And that's why I say I think that pendulum's really starting to swing back towards, like, you know, 4-year degrees aren't for everybody. And, you know, I just thinking through when I started in the industry, one of my first times coming through your guys' shop, you know, back in 2007, I wouldn't have thought that metal fabrication was as advanced and as cool as it is. And there's really a lot of interesting stuff going on. I think just being able to open people's eyes to what it is, what it means, as kinds of things you can do and build, that's really, really important. But, and the high technology piece is also important. There's not, you know, need people that can think critically and diagnose and debug and fix these kinds of systems. So yeah, really, really interesting next 10 years, I think, in the industry. Yeah. From a labor perspective.
It's definitely going to be exciting, just because everything changes so quickly. And the other thing is that, you know, even, you know, community college training programs, they can't keep up with our technology. They just can't. Right. They don't have the resources. I mean, they can't afford, you know, $1 million lasers, right? And so even just people coming in, like, eventually we will have to send them out for specialist training. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we can't expect people to come in with all of the skills. They just need to have the right attitude. They need to fit in our culture. They need to have just this drive to just to push themselves and to bring excellence to the company and also to themselves, just the personal pride of work.
Yep.
So, you know, like for us, it's really simple. I don't want to say never, but, you know, like skilled labor is kind of a misnomer in some ways, because anybody can become skilled. You know, like if you have the raw material, you can teach people skills. The problem is that you can't teach people those intangible things like work ethic and attitude. Yeah. Yep. And so, you know, that's how we've operated and have been successful in the past, is just taking people who have that potential and have the right stuff, and then we give them the skills.
Teaching the tools and building the tools.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to change gears a little bit. You know, we had prepped some of these topics about a month ago. So as we're changing the topic to some of this like international trade topic, it's all, you know, very much colored with the events in Ukraine right now. But the global supply chain that is the commodities market and steel market and aluminum are the same way. Has really, I also feel that's been gone through a lot of flux, and especially just in the pandemic, with other countries shutting down, with shipping being an issue. I know that trying to repatriate a lot of that manufacturing back to the United States has been a big trend. I've seen that in our customer base and in our industry too, which is people would, you know, have China or India or Turkey, you know, sending fabrications overseas, and then when everything shut down, everyone went, you know what, maybe it's a good idea to build some more stuff here at home. Have you guys seen that impact? I mean, is it from over the last, I'd say 2 years?
Yes, we saw that one. Actually, that benefit us, increase our sales. A lot of these business, I hope yeah, I hope that thing was like a long time ago, but it just now majority of the business business people understand it's not everything you bring in from overseas is going to be good. It's a temporary thing, lead time and all these things, and and you have no control. You ordering, sometimes as a company we order some stuff from overseas, and every month they said, oh yeah, we have some delayed. So for 6 months you're not going to get your stuff. So it helped a lot. It helped increase our sales. Number one, our customers. Majority of our customer, they know, we order from TMCO, Lincoln, Nebraska. And, if something has happened, they can go to the TMCO and they can see what's going on there. So you have a control of what you're going to finish in your business. The challenging we just talked about, just the supply chain of the materials,
right,
which is increasing the price and all these things, is affecting us a lot and affecting a lot of our customer too. So with that, the good thing, the good part about it, all our customer understand that the increase come now because of the global. It's not just in the United States. Then how we gonna control that and how we gonna make that the thing it's just gonna be a benefit as a business, as a company we're working over there. And that the challenge it will come if all the business people understand, making that product in USA the key. And this is how important. Get the business here. Maybe that part will be increasing on the price a little bit, but when you keep that business here, you will keep everyone's busy. Grow up the business. It's create a lot of new job for our people here. So there's many benefit to government. But absolutely, you're right. A lot of those businesses started bringing the business to the U.S. and we see that increase in our sales too, and not just for our company, many companies here and around us.
Yeah, but you can't escape the global commodity market that is steel pricing, though, right?
As
much as you try to repatriate, steel production getting shut down in Ukraine or other parts of the world still has a major impact on pricing, right?
It's like they're playing the game. You increase the tariff, they increase the tariff and all these, and we're in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Also, I think, it's wild right now. I think you're hard pressed to find people who have capacity. It's really tough. I think there's just no shortage of business. I think the supply chain disruption plays into that also. But it makes you think about, kind of how, is this, kind of a short-sighted solution, especially for larger corporations? Is this kind of a flavor of the month kind of thing? And once things resettle, will they, go back to
switch back?
Trying to find and so for us too, we're very, very particular about how we choose our customers. And even in terms of communicating supply chain issues or, when we have problems, working together with our suppliers to serve our customers is really key, and kind of going back to our theme of, our partnership and long-term relationship. It's, same thing with this kind of global disruption. I think there's a lot of opportunities, but really, for us, we're doing our best to maximize, kind of the situation, but also create stability for our customers as well.
Yeah, that's hard to do right now.
Yeah, it's, during the pandemic, Zach, we had to purchase a ton of the material, extra material, bring it, put it here. We're talking about $1 million of the material. And this is, for us as a company is very tough, and it's very hard to sit on that inventory, which is never done. But we have to do that to serve our customer. So a lot of these times, when customer call for the lead time, we can't just put 12 weeks of lead time. We prefer to get that lead time, short that lead time to our customer. I know it's going to increase a little bit the price, but at least the customer will receive the part on time, and they can sell it, they can get another order. So that challenging, we did this for our customer, try to help them to get that order out of there, sell that order, and bring more business to us, and maybe more business for them. So we see that coming up, we stepping up, and we purchase all those material. When a lot of these companies, they have no material, especially the small shop. They calling us, how we get the material? Well, we have a good relationship with them. And so relationship, we just talk about it, being loyalty.
They matter, right?
It's not about 2 cents, 3 cents, I go buy material from someone else. No, we keep that relationship, and that's what pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, circling back, those relationships matter. There's times in which you need to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody, and if you don't have that personal relationship, it's not going to happen sometimes. Well, the third topic I want to get to was talking about, and this is probably a little bit more pie in the sky, but some more advanced fabrication technologies. I'm a hobbyist 3D printer, which means I just fiddle with stuff in my basement. But we're starting to see that type of additive manufacturing making its way into actual production in some environments. I mean, at least in aerospace, I know people are 3D printing rocket nozzles, but what is additive manufacturing going to be a rapid prototyping technology for the foreseeable future, or do you guys see additive manufacturing actually making a pivot to be like being able to produce production parts soon?
Yes, that's a very good question. Actually, this is really good because we do have a customer we built in some part for the metal 3D printer.
Is that like a sintered metal?
Yeah, a great company called Desktop Metal. And I see the future for those products, 3D printer, it's going to be for mass production. Mm-hmm. What they do right now, it's a unique technologies. They use as a powder, as a metal, do it as a powder, and they apply the powder on the big size of the tables. So you can have maybe a 50 part. At the same time, they apply the powder on it. And after they apply the powder, they put heat on it, which is go to the oven and put heat on it, and the later become a part. So think about it. If I want to do it as a normal production, if I go to the machine shop, what I need tooling, I need material, then I will have scrap, then I will have maybe setup time. Setup time is a killer for the machine, 2 hours, 3 hours sometime. Then you have to have a labor there to do that. Think about that. If you have a 3D printer, metal printer, can do all these things for you, how much are you going to save money? So cost-wise and everything. So I see there's a many company you just mentioned, aerospace, they buy in 5 or 6 or 7 of those machines at a time, and they just produce all the production. So it will not be just for prototyping. I think I see it in 5 years, maybe, or 6, 7 years, it will be mass production.
Yeah, the costing structure for aerospace parts just does not compute in my off-highway industrial brain in terms of what stuff costs. So it's like if it makes sense for aerospace today, we need that cost to come down by like an order of magnitude before it starts to make sense for automotive or off-highway applications. So I mean, is that mostly going to replace the kind of like this casting machining pipeline that we have now, you think?
I think it will. It will do, but it won't be that quick. There's a lot of these parts required to have still good finishing and all these things. When a 3D printer, it will give you a good quality part, but a lot of those parts require a finishing, and the 3D printer won't give you that good finish. So you still need to have some part, maybe second operation to do it. But the 3D printer getting better every year. Diane, she mentioned that earlier. Technology is getting so fast right now. Yep. So you never know. In the future, maybe the 3D printer will provide you a part with a good finishing. But definitely, future-wise, it will be replaced in some of those big machines, which is requiring tooling and maintenance and do all this. All you need to do, purchase a good powder with the system and have a good machines, and it will provide the part for you.
Yeah, I think it's all about application. So, for example, like we could process something on our tube laser, but if you're just going to cut the thing, you just cut it with the saw, Mm-hmm. So, which is a cheaper, quicker way to do something. We could cut something on the laser, or, it might fit better on the punch. I think that the 3D printer has an application. I think there's a niche there. And I think that there's certain types of parts and certain, I think probably more complicated things that probably fit better on it than, some things I think will always be cheaper and easier to maybe cast or, machine. But I think that there is going to be a niche somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's one of the interesting parts to me is that this kind of circle between manufacturing technology and engineering, which is more advanced manufacturing technology gives you the ability to fabricate stuff differently or things that you couldn't do before, which changes how you engineer a part. And 3D printing opens up a bunch of new doors of parts that couldn't be built before, potentially. I mean, completely new parts that could never have been fabricated or stuff that would have taken a tremendous amount of small parts and assembled together, right? And you can roll it off the machine as a single part at one time. That seems potentially really powerful for certain parts. Right?
That's correct. You know, the way on the 3D printer, this is how I think about it. When you have a part you want to machine it, you have to have the material. When you put that part in the machine, it will take all those around it. So you started with the material, and you wasted 50% maybe of that, just wasted to go out for chips or scrap. On the 3D printers, always started from nothing to build up. So you have less scrap and all these things. So I think it will be a very key for the future for mass production, the 3D printer. But I agree with Diane. You know, there's a lot of application, different application of what they want to do it, but definitely it will be replacing a lot of those machines.
You know, it's funny too. Like I always see these articles and they scare me a little bit, you know, because we're in the metal business, but it's about like a new material, like a new polymer or a new composite that's like supposed to be, you know, stronger than steel or something, you know. And I think about
twice as strong, half the weight.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And so, you know, I think about also the, you know, the potential to develop different types of materials going forward. I mean, you know, something we think about all the time in the metal business, you know, what's going to replace metal? You know, like if you know, metal isn't used anymore for example, building, construction. I mean, we don't deal with heavy industrial, but, you know, trickling down cars, look at cars. And so, you know, also thinking about additive manufacturing in terms of the development of new composites and polymers and materials, I think is really something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. That there's, you still have to be able to build stuff and form stuff and assemble things, but steel's been the one material. Well, not the one, but it's been the primary material for a long time that kind of meets that corner of like workability and cost, you know, and flexibility in terms of the different things you can make with it, and how much longer does it get to sit in that seat before something displaces it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, correct.
I'm asking, how long? No, just kidding.
10 years. Back to the 10-year plan.
Yeah. 5 to 10 years, right? You can always say 5 to 10 years.
You know, Zach, the technology is changing so quick. So you never know. You know, I give example. Years ago, before the fiber laser coming up to market, so it was a CO2 laser. So when those CO2 laser every 7 years or 5 years, they would come with a little bit more powerful laser, but it's still CO2 laser. Fiber laser, when we come to the market, every 6 months there's a new one. So you purchase the fastest machine. When we did before, we had the 3,000 watt fiber laser, just to let you know. And it was the fastest machine. After 6 months, there comes 5,000, 6,000. So technology changed so quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But still, the challenging is going to be, okay, you make the laser how fast? Can the automation keep up with those laser or not? So they coming up, you go to the FabTech, they show a 12,000 watt fiber laser. They can cut you 5,000 inches per minute. Can the automation keep up with those? That's a big challenge that's going to come. No, absolutely not. So those are the two technologies, they have to go side by side together. I mean, you can make the laser for a $2 million laser running very fast and waiting 15 minutes to get that automation load in the part. What's the advantage on that 12,000 watt fiber laser? So it is a big challenging. It's still challenging there. The company working on it. It's hard to say what's going to come in 5 years. Maybe you're going to come to TMCO in a couple of years. You see someone, oh, what is this anymore? You know, so it's just challenging, but definitely.
To be fair, that happens every year now.
Yeah,
like, hey,
definitely we are in that direction.
Yeah,
we're open with the new technologies. We're open with everything is going to coming up. Whatever is going to fit our customers. What we need for our customer to be. Number one, I want to give them quality part. Number two, I want to provide them with the speed. I mean, lead time, the key of the everything. Quality and lead time, on time delivery. Quality part, that's what we're looking for to serve our customer. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter if that 12,000 watt fiber laser or not, but if you don't provide that, the quality and the lead time for the customer, I see no value on those machine. So absolutely, whatever, we always study the customer closely. One of you guys as Anderson Engine, you guys put us in a lot of these challenging, you know, how we can do it because you're always thinking about your customer. You want to do the best price for your customers, always challenging us. What we need to do to give that product to our customer cheaper. We really appreciate you give us that, the challenging. So we're working very hard try to provide that service to you guys so you can sell the best equipment to your customer.
Well, I think from our perspective, there's no way we could build what we build today if we tried to do all of the fabrication in house. This obviously changes depending on the scale that you're working on, but I mean, the amount of flexibility this job shop model gives to smaller manufacturers is insane. It's the only way that have access to the type of tooling and speed and quality versus trying to do it in house, and that's an interesting part of the industry, I think. And I know that there's quite a few people that just do job shop type work, but what's always stood out to me is also the scale of what you guys do too. And those, like I think Diane, you started there, which is that one piece to high volume production, right? And that's a trick.
Well, and I think it absolutely is. And I think too, I mean, just the fact that we have resources that our customers can leverage. So our engineering team here, I mean, they're specialists in manufacturing engineering. I mean, like we are specialists in manufacturing process. And so, for us to be able to share that knowledge with our customers, to help make your parts better, cheaper, more efficient, for your customers is our goal. And so, we have a lot of resources that, our customers are also able to have access to. And I think that really adds value, compared to, doing business with maybe like a smaller job shop or, that we have the ability also to advise and consult.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more question for both of you. This one's a fun one. What's your favorite application or the favorite thing someone's built with something you've made for them? I know you guys work with a whole bunch of different people, from artists to machine manufacturers. What's your go-to example of something cool that a customer does?
What a terrible question. Give me 1 second.
We'll edit all this banter out if you need to. Take your time. That's fine.
So you're thinking about a product, we build it here at TMCO, it was a favor.
Yeah, or just even if you just build a piece that goes into a machine, I'll give you an example of a recent one that we came across, which is someone's using a Honda engine to make a fish shocking machine. It's a fish shocker. It looks like a proton pack. It's a backpack fish shocker that they go in if they need to go. I actually don't know why they need to shock a bunch of fish, but they use it to, whether it's clearing out a pond or something. Never in a million years would have thought that would have been an application for a little spark ignited engine, but it's just the weird, interesting stuff that we see all the time.
So one of those things, we built an art for a professor for an university. He designed the idea, and it was a huge, and there was no way we'd be able to get it done here at TMCO. And we challenge ourselves, and the way how we cut it, your machine is just 10 foot, and then you have a part like 20 feet long, then you cut 10 foot here, then you have to move the sheet to the other 10 foot, and you have to cut it by 20 thou or 30 thou. How are you going to do that without having the right equipment? It's your machine rated for 10 feet, and you cut them about 20 feet. So that's the challenging. And okay, we can't tell that person, no, we can't send the part outside because we want to control the quality on the part over there. So that the challenging was from us to how we do that part, to move that sheet completely, which is a 1/2 inch of stainless steel on the water jet, to move it, to shift it 10 feet the other side, to all the measurement, all the holes should be
and keep the tolerance.
Keep the tolerance on that one over there, and that's one of those challenging. Then put it together. It was a piece of art. Yeah. So I think that's a good example I can give too. But
that's one of those everyday things that people will walk by, and okay, it's a 20-piece long thing, and have no appreciation for the amount of effort that went into doing it. It's I love those little bits.
Yeah. Yes. Some of those, or we have one customer's looking for the part. The part is about 24 feet long. It's a 10 gauge galvanized, and they can't get it because of the size of the sheet and also the shape of the sheet. So he kind of give up. Oh, I'm not sure what I need to do it and all these things. So what I did, I brought 2 sheets. Find it. to the side to make sure it's not the welder, which is structural welding.
Mm-hmm.
Then I put it in the machine, in the punch machine. And what the problem, you cannot run it because the library for the safety is going to hit the sheet. So we have to remove the safety library to put it away a little bit for that one to be able to cut that part. And we come back and galvanize the part in the middle. When he looked at the part, it was, how you guys did this one over there? And so sometimes we will take extra mile to help the customer to do some weird stuff, you know what I'm saying? And of course, the company, Trump, helped us because, they don't want for the safety to do that. I said, no, we need to move those because customer need it.
Anwar.
Yes.
If they put this on, OSHA's going to come.
Yeah. So we will do whatever it take to make our customers happy to help them to get the stuff done. Which this was a prototyping. It was not mass production. Sometimes it's okay to do it. So some of those challenging, I enjoy doing those. Just working with the customer and make work more fun.
Dan, do you have a favorite piece?
It's funny. So I'm seeing my life flash before my eyes in parts, and I was thinking about. So we make parts for natural gas, and there's a specific part that my dad made. He figured out how to machine the part with intolerance, which was near impossible. And that was a real turning point for TMCO, and we still make those parts. But that's kind of that's one that's real personal, to my dad, to our family, and to the company. I was thinking about that one. I was thinking about the thousands of panels that I sanded when I was in junior high school. They were communication style panels. And at that time, the sanders didn't have those vents that suck up the dust. So you would be sanding the panels, and then at the end of the day, you'd be covered in metal dust. You'd literally look like the Tin Man at the end of the day. It was awful. It was awful, but we did thousands of those. But no, my favorite one, and it's not even one that we really could do. And I don't know if you remember this, Anwar, but there was this woman who, so because we do, kind of odd things sometimes, we get people who walk in and ask, hey, can you do this? And there was a woman, there was an old lady who came in and she brought a lamp. Do you remember this?
Yep.
She brought in a lamp with I don't know what it was, a broken metal something. Metal. Yeah. And so she's like, can you fix this? And that's not what we do really, but Anwar just felt bad for her. So he took the lamp and he fixed the lamp and then he returned it to the woman. And I remember seeing in the office thinking, what the hell is this? And, and that's customer service right there because it's just totally beyond. But, I think the situation was warranted and we had a happy customer.
Happy old lady.
Yeah.
Happy old lady.
That was joy, Yeah. Sometimes when you work in the company, same thing with you guys, people, especially at the job shop, it just 1,000 customers. So people knock the door, can you do this one for me? It depends on the situation. Sometimes, I look at the person, no, this is job shop. And all. Sometimes it's hard to explain for them. We're job shop, we do this, and all these things. So, she holds something in her hand, can we do this one over there? Hard to say no. I can tell you, we spend more time just to figure out how we're going to do this one.
Yeah, we do spend a lot of time trying to figure out how, and sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you still spend a lot of time and thought and trying to think okay, how can we, is it possible? And so, that's kind of the joy of the job. Yep. We've done some other really cool things. I mean, any number of we have amazing customers, have amazing products. So it's really hard to pick. And otherwise, we recently, I think last year, we finished a project for Morning Hope Grief Center. And there's a center here in Lincoln, and they got funds to build a new building, and they specialize in grief counseling for children. And so walking through the building, TMCO is everywhere in the building. There's just the metalwork is outstanding. And it's just knowing what they do and their mission and how it's helping to uplift kids going through a difficult time and, helping our community is just I got really emotional looking at it. And, and also just looking at our metalwork in that space was just I don't know, it just makes me really proud of what we do as a company. Mm-hmm. Even though that type of work is a really small part of it, it's still really, really impactful.
Yeah.
strong community make us a strong. This is so important. You have to be involved in the community. You have to be working with the community, and because stronger community make you look really good. So it works both ways.
So do you guys? In our last podcast, I was talking about the syndrome that off-highway equipment people have, which is driving down the highway and seeing trucks hauling stuff and be like, I know what that machine does, or I know what engine's in that machine, right? Do you guys have that symptom walking around town and being able to point to stuff and be like, we made that and I helped design that,
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And one of those things, Zach, I will tell you, we used to do that. I like to do it also back to with you guys. Let our people visit in your company. You have no idea when last time when I brought all those group of the people, they built it. Oh, I bent this part.
Yeah.
I did this part. It was so joyful. They really appreciated that. So this is so important. If our people here, when they run in your part and all these, to go there to see where their part go, which engine and all those things. It just, and same thing, driving around, I see a class combine going, yep, we built this one over there, so.
Well, so you guys are so early in the supply chain, you're taking raw material essentially and then building stuff. And so I think it's hard to get that visibility toward what you're building and where it ends up and what it's doing. I bet if you were to go map it out, it's just a vast array of different products and all over the world, I'm sure.
Yeah, and for people that are employees to kind of realize the impact that they're having, then you're going from just a job to this is a vocation.
Yep.
This is something very, very special that we're doing here. And it really helps us, I think, become a more attractive employer.
That's full circle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here we are.
I think that's where we're ended. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Zach.
Thank you for giving us opportunity and welcome you guys here. Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Engineuity. We record and release a new episode every month. Be sure to follow us at Engineuity Podcast on Instagram for updates about future episodes and industry news.